Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our fourth community leaders briefing for folks today. As usual, I'm Mike Wilder, the Director of Emergency Management. We have with us today the same as Judge Howard Hunt, Mayor Mike Perros, our County Health Director, Brent Blevins. We're doing this a little bit different. We're doing it video-wise to where possibly we could get out of the same, not all of us being in the same room at the same time, which would help for social distancing. Again, just to let people know that we will continue to do this as long as we need to do it twice a week on Tuesday or on Monday, Monday and Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Please take note of the number that we'd like for you to call and give us your questions or comments. Feel free to ask any of us any of the questions that you might have, and there's no reason to give your name or anything like that because this is just a public forum. That number again is 859-936-6865. Again, it's 859-936-6568.
I think it's the other way around that last one, Mike.
6865. I'm sorry. Done that before. Without anything else, Judge, you want to make some comments?
I'd love to. I hope everybody continues to tune this in. We try to keep it fresh each and every day with some new piece of information. And the mayor is on, and I'm on, and Director Blevins is on, along with Director Wilder. There's a couple of new pieces of information that the governor issued yesterday by executive order that I want to make sure everybody knows about. And one of them was to restrict door-to-door solicitation and renew the ability to get a 30-day prescription refilled without seeing a doctor. Both of these are very important, and I want our residents in Boyle County to know about these, and so that they can, call and take care of their medical needs. But also, if somebody's coming door to door, you don't have to let them in, and you should not, because they're not supposed to be doing solicitation during this slowdown period with the COVID-19. The other executive order, issued yesterday was would limit people shopping in life-sustaining businesses that are still open to one person per household. Well, we've said since we've been on the air doing these presentations and live video streams is that one cart, one person, and the governor has taken that and made an executive order that there is an exception to that, and that being where a parent has a child that they can't, has to be with them or something like that. So there is an exception to that. And I just wanted everybody to know that I think all of our merchants here in Boyle County are responding very professionally to the social distancing. I walk into Lowe's and Walmart and Kroger and other places, and you see the tape on the floor, 6 foot apart. This is all really good. And I just ask for everybody to be patient. I appreciate their concern for the overall health of all of the patrons in each of these businesses. And I believe the more that we can impact the social distancing and stay home if you're sick and take care of those that we need to take care of and keep our more at-risk citizens out of the public eye as much as possible, I believe this curve will flatten out and we'll start to head down, and that's what we all hope sooner than later. So please keep on doing what you're doing, And we ask for your continued support and assistance in all regards to keep this virus from spreading rapidly in Boyle County. Thank you.
Mayor Perros?
I can be brief. I want to congratulate our hospital and hospital staff on their preparedness. I'm glad they got the publicity that they did last night on WKYT TV. I think it's well deserved, and I believe that every one of us should be very proud of our hospital management and staff. And let's hope none of us have to use it, but they're ready, more so than we might otherwise expect. So I'm really happy for them. Number two, we started a tradition at City Hall. I'm fond of saying it's not a great tradition, but we're every Monday, every weeknight around nightfall or before for any day in which the Commonwealth has lost somebody to COVID-19, we're having a little ceremony out in front of City Hall, and at which point we light and illuminate City Hall in green. The public is welcome to attend, although you can see it on Facebook as well. And my final message is just a gut feeling that the novelty of all this is beginning to wane a bit, to wear off a little bit. I know it hasn't come here in any great force, but again, I implore all of us to be as vigilant as we were a week or 10 days ago, and because it hadn't gotten here, and just because it hadn't gotten here doesn't mean it won't. So try to limit your trips, try to stay at home, and I know we're all bouncing off the walls doing it, but that's what's called for here at this time.
Brent, would you like to make a few remarks to open up? I have 4 questions, and all 4 questions basically would be directed to you as well. So if you want to make some comments, and then we can get into the questions.
Sure. Appreciate it. Has its own COVID-19 website, and they're reporting different numbers. And so there's just some things about when these websites come up reporting numbers and where they get their data that just don't match. Now, with the governor, the only issue is sometimes they're not getting the information on the positive case. So hopefully we clear that up over time. And some of that is just based on it's taken a while to get all these systems together so that we can see how it's reported when you have this many new labs coming online. So every day, 4 o'clock, I report those and do my best I can to give you as much information as I can of what's going on. A couple other things. I know this weekend, a lot of people are used to going to church, and it's a big family weekend. And there are some churches out there who are doing some really cool things. There's some drive-in churches going. The governor's issued some guidance. So if you're doing that, you have to make sure those vehicles are 6 feet apart. Can only be members of the same family from that household in that car. You can't be passing anything in between the cars. Those type of things. And that just helps us as we continue the steps we've been taking in our social distancing. That's what those are for. So keep those in mind, as well as there'll be plenty of church services that are doing online services so people can still enjoy that very special weekend. Talking a little bit about social distancing, and I agree with what the mayor said 100%. We got to keep doing it. Right now, you hear a lot in the media, the social media and other medias, where this week and next week are these crucial weeks. As we've climbed up these peaks and we're trying to plateau out and then come down the other side, particularly on the national level, you hear this a lot. And it's the same for us. We've worked really hard over the last 5 or 6 weeks to get to this point. And right now is that moment that we have got to keep doing the social distancing, wash your hands frequently, and by all means, and this is hard for all of us, we've got to keep our hands off our face. That's just the bottom line. Those 3 things right there are some of those key things that you've heard us talk about a lot. A lot of people, and I talked about this the other day, but I do want to say this again. A lot of people ask me, when we get a positive case, how does that work? So again, here's how that works. Once we get that positive case, we do a line list and we find names and numbers of people who have been in direct contact with this positive case. And then what we do is we start calling those people to see if any of them have signs or symptoms, but also to look at quarantine for 14 days, depending on that relationship, and to see the steps we need to take to try to prevent that particular spot of virus from growing or from spreading. A lot of times people call in and say, hey, I heard you had a new case, but I haven't heard from you. If you don't hear from us, then it probably means that you were not close enough in contact to a person that we had a concern to call you. So that's kind of just for people to know that's how that works and to go from there. The 13 cases, and this is another point that I talked the other day to show you how this thing can spread. What we found is a lot of these cases, they spread within those close contacts pretty quick. So out of the 13 cases, we might have 4 or 5 of these that turn out to be groups that happen to be family members or friends, those type of things where people were around each other and have ended up having the COVID-19 virus or been diagnosed with that. So I say that to help people understand that not every case is just a totally isolated case. There's a lot of interactions between the people and the cases as they turn up positive. And let me also say this: I agree with the mayor and everything's been said on our hospital. We are truly blessed here in this community to have them. They do a great job. They take care of us when we need them, and I do appreciate that. We will have more cases. This thing spreads. Hopefully most of them are just very minor. People get them and they can deal with them at home, which is what the people are doing now. They're in quarantine at home and doing that. A huge positive for us. We just released in the last couple of days 7 of the close contacts that were involved with some of our earlier cases, meaning we're not checking in with them every day and they're not checking in with us because they got to the end of their time. They didn't have signs or symptoms and they are ready to not be involved with us. That's what we want. That's exactly how this works. And that's a great thing when we get to that point. Okay, I think that's the majority of what I had. Mike, what's some of those questions?
Okay. And we've got several today. There's 4, I think, already, and then there's a couple more that just come in, but most of them, Brent, are towards you. The
Okay.
first question was, were there 3 new cases from the same family?
They were not from the same family. We did have one of them that had quite a few people that were following because they were in the same family, but no, the 3 were separate cases.
Okay. This is concerning Walmart, Brent. The person says, I buy groceries online to pick up, but many basics are not available online. I don't want to go in the store. Why are staples not available online?
Well,
I don't know if you can answer that or not.
Well, I think sometimes, when we're looking at the stores right now, first of all, they've done a tremendous job of figuring out during this time period of how to make sure people can still get the food they need, trying to deal with people coming in initially early on and buying way more than they should have. And so that left shortages, but they have recovered very well and have gotten to where they can fulfill a lot of orders. I think sometimes it might just be as they're trying to transition over to a lot of that online. It takes a little bit of time for them to figure out their processes in the store, make sure they've got in the things that most people are looking for, and just to make sure they've got it. So I think a little bit of the learning curve is there, but I feel very confident that they are doing a great job and will continue to improve that process.
Next one, Brent. I want to visit my daughter's family in Louisville. We haven't been together in a month. So is it safe for me to visit them in person?
Please stay home. I know we all want to see them. I mentioned not long ago, my two kids are in South Carolina and I have not seen them a while, and I would love to see them, but it's going to be just a little while. And I think, we take several weeks on this and we'll get to a point where we can start doing business within families again. But for right now, enjoy them on the phone, FaceTime, YouTube Live, whatever you can get to, and just enjoy that for the moment.
This next caller wants to give out a thanks to the Boyle County FFA for online greenhouse sales and bringing the orders to the car. They really enjoy that. I know they work pretty hard at that too.
That's a great service. Really appreciate them doing that.
Another one is pertaining to garden centers. Are garden centers limiting the number of customers? They are outside, Lowe's, Walmart in particular.
Yes, one of the things that the city did a while back is they did an ordinance which really helped to back up the stores as far as the guidelines they were putting in to limit the number of people inside. It also helped reinforce that the stores can take some employees, have them scattered around to help disperse people so they're not within social or not in somebody's space when they should be social distancing, those type of things. I do think, obviously, with the weather being warmer, we've had more people out doing gardening supplies. But I think that's getting better. I know the city with David they're actually having their staff go out and try to help the stores with guidelines on that as needed. And that's been a big help. So I think it's taken them a little bit of time, but still, the stores do a great job. Our governments do a great job trying to help limit that. But really, there's a personal responsibility for all of us. We all like to plant those flowers in the spring, but this might be the year that they get planted in the early summer, and we just enjoy them and water them a little more, as opposed to everybody going to the garden center of our stores right now.
People want to remember this weekend, they're talking about a little frost, so you don't need to be jumping out and getting too many flowers because they can get bit pretty quick. So remember that. This next one is directed to Mayor Perros, and it's a comment about the gathering to remember those that's passed from the COVID-19 virus at City Hall. This caller is upset because there's not social distancing.
Well, the times that I have been there and the other time that I witnessed it, I thought there was social distancing. We'll just have to continue to be vigilant on that. And thank you for your notification.
Okay. Judge Hunt, you got anything else?
Well, I just wanted to let everybody know how much, again, I appreciate, we're all in this together. I appreciate you being patient with our big box stores and the employees there, because they're just doing their job as management is cooperating with the government and trying to keep everybody as safe as possible. I've had one person call me and say that in response to a wreck, there were some EMS and sheriff folks and fire folks at this one site, and they didn't see them using any PPE. So I'm constantly refreshing through staff visits the need to be in PPE, but they have some protocols, and I want everybody to understand that they try to utilize social distancing first, so we don't have a high excessive burn rate of going through the PPE. And if it looks like it's going to require more than being closer than 6 foot on any event or occasion, then they don the PPE. So, but I'm still encouraging that at every turn on our first responder calls out across the county. But we're doing great. Our numbers are staying down. I'm excited about this continuing on, and just let me know if there's anything that the county judge can do to help improve your safety and understanding of where we are in this event. I feel like we're making great positive headway each and every day.
Thank you, Judge. I might throw this in, shift gears just a little bit. I think everybody is aware of the fact that we did experience some severe weather last night throughout the city and the county, and I hope everybody fared well and got the notifications they needed to get. And if anybody ever has any questions about that, please feel free to call me. Again, I say if you're not on code red, last night was a perfect example of code red. Right at midnight, almost at the stroke of midnight, code red issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Boyle County. And we did have a severe thunderstorm. I attest to that. I was out the biggest part of the evening last night. We had a lot of trees down, a lot of power lines down, had some structural damage, nothing major. Everything was pretty much straight line winds. No injuries, of course, but we had several power outages. I think we still have a few power outages as well. But again, stay safe with that. Ann has just handed me another question. It's the person that had asked the mayor about she is not upset because of social distancing, but community gathering not to happen per the governor. Okay, she was interested in that. Okay. Again, severe weather season is here, and everybody needs to heed that and watch the weather and stay weather aware. And we've actually got some more severe weather forecast for Easter Sunday evening. So stay aware of that and stay tuned. Anything else, Mayor?
No, sir.
Brent, how about you?
I agree with what the judge said. I really appreciate the community and the individuals in our community doing everything they can. That is so tremendous for us as we get to where we flatten this curve and get down the other side.
Judge, cut us off, if you will.
Just be prepared, not scared. Everybody stay safe, and we'll get through this quick as possible. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again on Monday at 3:30.
Bye-bye.